sounds, I'll choose this one and I'll apply it. Finally, let's quickly test it to hear what one of them sounds like. All you have to do is press the play icon, so let's do that. Next up is the text-to-speech chat page. This can read out loud any message that your viewers can send, and once again it works for both phone and computer streamers. So if you want to use this page, firstly obviously make sure you check the enabled box, and then let's review some of the most important settings, obviously starting with language and voice. If we look at the voice drop down, there is a whole host of interesting voices. I'm going to go with the popular Ghostface voice. You can also just randomize them as well. I'll leave the speed and the pitch as it is, and we'll also test this in a second. But firstly, under allowed users, if you're going to allow all people to use it, then unfortunately there's a lot of immature people on TikTok Live and they're probably going to abuse it. So I don't suggest you set it to all users. Do that at your own risk. Personally, I suggest you let your most loyal supporters use the text-to-speech chat. So that's generally the people giving you money, that's the subscribers, as well as your moderators, and of course your team members and top gifters. And for both team members and top gifters, you can click this cog to configure what level of team member is allowed to use the text-to-speech, and you can configure how many top gifters can use it. And then underneath comment types, I've got it so that the viewer has to type !TTS followed by their message. I think more commonly these days, a lot of people use this dot or the slash one, or they can just make it read out every single comment from these allowed users. Most people don't charge channel points, and we'll cover channel points more in depth later. If you've ticked allowed users from list, this is where you type them underneath the special users section. And then if I scroll down a bit before we test it, look under spam protection. These are my recommended settings. So the max Q length is set on 20 so that it doesn't read ancient messages. And underneath advanced, I've also changed it, so instead of just saying comment, it's bracket username says bracket comment, and this just allows me, the streamer, to work out who is actually sending the text-to-speech chat message. So finally we can test it to hear what it sounds like, so let's do that.
Testasaur says this is a test.
That sounds fantastic to me. For this to work, all you have to do is leave the website or the desktop app open in the background. One final note though, if you are just using the website, web browsers like Chrome require that you interact with the web page to enable the sound. So after you've clicked the connect button on either the setup or the start page, just click into a random other page such as the TTS chat page, and that should ensure that sound is enabled. Once again, that's not required for the desktop app. Let's quickly talk about Tikfinity Pro. My affiliate link is in the description. If you click that and create a new account, you'll get Tikfinity Pro for $15 a month instead of $19. In regards to whether you purchase Tikfinity Pro, I think it's pretty simple. If you're making more than about $15 a month on TikTok Live from gifts, then I think it's worth it because it will pay for itself. If not, then just stick with the free version of Tikfinity. Almost everything we do in this video, you can do with the free version. So once again, if you create a new account using my affiliate link in the description, that will reduce the future price of Tikfinity Pro. Alright, so let's move on to the actions and events page, and this is for computer streamers only, and this is extremely customizable, so we're going to look at a lot of different examples. But what all of these examples have in common is if you click on overlay screen settings, we will be adding a URL to either Live Studio, OBS or Streamlabs. So here's how to add a screen URL, and I'll show both Live Studio and OBS. Firstly, I recommend maximum queue length of 1000, and then most of us are just going to use screen 1. So all I'm going to do is click on the URL to copy it. And firstly, let's look at Live Studio. I'm going to click on add source on the left hand side. I'm going to click on link. If you're using compatibility mode, I'm going to sync it to the landscape scene and press add. I'm going to press Ctrl V on my keyboard, and I'm going to go custom resolution, and for this one I'll go 600 by 400. But Tikfinity action and event sizes can change dramatically, so you'll just have to play around with the custom resolution to get it looking the way you want. Make sure you turn on the sound. We don't need a preview for now, we'll press add source. Before we do anything else, on the left hand side I'm going to right click rename, and I've now done it in both places. I've renamed both portrait and landscape to Tikfinity Screen 1. Next up, I'm going to click on them, and you can now just drag them around to resize it and drag the corners to make it bigger or smaller, and you can hold the Alt button and drag these squares if you need to crop it. If you're using OBS and Streamlabs, it's a very similar process. Under these sources, click the plus button, click on browser. I've named mine Tikfinity Screen 1, I've pressed OK. I'm going to Control V to replace the URL. Once again, I'm going to make it 600 by 400, but it will be variable, so you might have to play around with it. I'm going to shut down source when not visible and press OK. And I can click on the source and drag it around to move it. I can once again drag the squares to resize, and I can hold Alt and drag the squares to crop. So that might not be making much sense yet, so let's make sense of it now. The actions and events page lets you trigger actions based on anything on the screen here. That includes gifts, subs, follows, and likes. So let's set some examples up. Let's start with some predefined alerts if you want to set it up super quickly for alerts for follows, gifts, subs, and likes. And to do that, you'll either get a pop-up when you click into the actions and events page, or you'll have this highlight here which says be creative and create your own alerts, or click here to import predefined alerts. So I've clicked it, and just like that, you can see in the background we've got 4 actions and 4 events. And you should have already done this, but it's telling you to add the URL as a link source. Go back and watch the section where we've already done that,